Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a story time video. A lot of you guys have been asking for these type of videos for a while. Just some of my crazy stories about how it's been since I moved to LA, some things that I've been through. And there are some things that I've been through that I'm not going to talk about because they're super personal. Some things are just not worth mentioning. It's just like a part of my past and I've moved past it. And then this one story that I'm going to share today is pretty crazy. I laugh at it now because it's like that's all you can do. But before we get started, I wanted to make mention of Scentbird. Scentbird sent me these 4 perfumes to try. So if you're not familiar with Scentbird, have it right here. Basically how it works is you pick a scent and you choose from 450 plus designer and fragrances. And then you get a monthly supply. You get a 30-day supply of fragrance plus a free case with your first order. And it's free shipping all the time. And you can cancel anytime. And normally it's $14.95, but you can actually get your first month for $11.21. So basically I have Kat Von D's Center here, which is, I feel like this is an adult fragrance. A lot of these fragrances are like very mature. They're not very like young. I'm 27, so like for me I like the more adult fragrances. And the Kat Von D one is just, it's very mature to me. It's very pretty but very mature. I'm wearing Angel by Thierry Mugler today. And I love Thierry Mugler's perfumes because they're very, very mature. I used to have Alien. If you guys are OG subscribers, you know I love Thierry Mugler's Alien. When I would wear it, a few people would be like, Mariah, that smells like an old woman. But I don't think it does. I just think it has like it's a mature smell. This one is Versace Bright Crystal. Again, mature, but love it. I'm not good at like describing, but they all smell so beautiful. And then Gucci Guilty. Gucci Guilty, anybody can wear. I love it. So those are the perfumes that I'm trying out. So basically, I'm not getting paid. This isn't like a sponsorship where I'm getting paid to mention them, but I do have an affiliate link, which I wish and I hope you guys will use. Help your girl make some money. I'll have it linked below. If you are interested in trying Scentbird, please use my affiliate link. You don't have to. I'm not gonna like make a big deal if people don't, but it's like, you know, I am trying to make a little bit of money. Let's be honest here. You know, this takes time for me to like make these videos, edit, upload, and if you are going to, you know, try it, why not use my link and help a girl out? So totally don't have to, just wanted to make mention. I think it's pretty cool and I like all my scents. So this story time is pretty funny, I guess. Looking back, during the whole time it wasn't fun and it wasn't funny. So the summer of 2017 I was living in Glendale, and that was like my first real place after living in hotels. When I first moved out here, I was living in hotels. So the summer of 2017, June to like September, I was living in Glendale and I was renting a room from a really nice house. Like this house was immaculate. The guy that owned it was super wealthy. Yeah, it was crazy. Super, super nice. And it was like had a view and everything. And it was a nice house, but it was a disaster because the guy that was renting the rooms was literally like a drug addict, like a meth user. And I knew it moving in, but he was willing to like work with me. I didn't really have a lot of money, and I was like, I really want to get out of living in hotels. I can't get ahead until I like am not living in hotels. So I did know he was like a drug user, but I was like, it's not going to affect me. I have a room in the house. I'm never going to be home because all I'm going to be doing is working. And I literally lived there like 3 months. That's how bad it was. Like, it was so crazy. So he was there, and then it was so his room was like on the opposite side of the house, and then our rooms were like the roommates were. So you walk up, the first door on the right was like an older guy. He was like a computer guy, kind of like nerdy, super cool though. I forget his name, doesn't even matter. He had a room, and his room was like one of the master rooms with like a bathroom in it, and then straight across was my bathroom that I used, and then my other roommate used. So there's a bathroom straight ahead, my roommate, and then me. That roommate I actually ended up getting super close with. We just hated living there. After a while we went through so much drama because like the owner was, I don't know, crazy. Like it was just like a party house and there's people coming in, and there was an incident where I was like in my room and we didn't have locks on our doors. For whatever reason, it's like not appropriate. We didn't have locks on our doors. And I was sleeping one morning or whatever, because I'd worked all night, and this random guy came into my room when I was sleeping and just was like staring at me. And the only reason I knew is because Coco, she started barking. If somebody comes into my room or even comes near me, she barks. She's like really protective. So she started barking, and I saw this like random guy, and I was like, oh my God, get out. Like, what the hell? And then when my roommate next door heard that, he came over and he was like, what's up? He was kind of like protective of me, which was cool. And I was like, well, this guy just like literally came into my freaking room. Like, I didn't ask him to. So then that roommate that I had ended up putting like a lock on my door, which caused a lot of conflict because these doors were like special doors that weren't supposed to have like a padlock. And we went out and got a padlock and like nailed it into the door, like drilled it into the door. It was so crazy. So we ended up having conflict, and the owner of the house ended up like calling the cops on us a few times. The cops would show up and be like, this is like all the time. You guys need to stop. Like, you need to get out of living here, because this owner of this house constantly has people living here and constantly calls the cops on them. So for the owner of the house that was renting out the rooms, this was like a routine for him to just have drama and to call the cops and to like whatever. He said like my dog had attacked him and some crazy shit. And when the police saw the dog, they were laughing, and they knew he was like, you know, a drug user. Like, they just said, get out of living here. So me and my roommate, the one that I was cool with, decided to get a place together, okay? The one that I was cool with. So this isn't really the real story. This is just like the backstory as to why I moved in with this guy to the new place, okay? Because we were super close. Like I told you, he had gotten the padlock for me. We went out and got dinners together. Sometimes he'd bring me to work. Sometimes he'd pick me up from work. We weren't like romantically involved. He wasn't my type at all. But we were like cool. Like, he was there for me. I was there for him. He had a girlfriend at the time too. But then we ended up moving to a different place in the valley, and we ended up getting a house, like a little guest house on like a horse property. If you guys were following me at the time on like Snapchat, then you guys saw a lot of that in Instagram. Obviously I wasn't on YouTube at the time. So yeah, we got the place together. I loved it because it was like a house. It kind of reminded me of Connecticut. It was like on horse property. There was things I definitely didn't like about it, but it was nice to have your own standalone house. We even had like a little yard, but I really never used it. Like, I would have coffee outside every now and again, but like I really never used it. I like where I'm living with my roommate that I have now more so than I like living in the house. So yeah, we moved in together in like September, October of 2017. So yeah, by like January of 2018, he got evicted. There was a lot of weird stuff happening. I worked all the time, and the landlords actually lived on the property with us. So they saw everything that was happening. So I was like never home, but weird stuff started happening. Like, my roommate would ask for money. He wasn't working, and he wasn't working at the other place as well. Like, when we were living in Glendale, he had some income. I don't know how he had income. I didn't really ask. I didn't really care. But he had income coming in, but he wasn't working. But he paid his bills. Like, I don't know, like, as far as I know, rent was always paid when we were renting the rooms. So when we got the place together, yeah, he wasn't working, but like, I figured whatever, like, he'll figure it out. You know, he seems to have money coming from somewhere. So a lot of stuff just like unfolded over the course of living in that house together. Like, weird stuff. He'd ask for like $5 here, $10 here for like cigarettes, and I would give it to him because it's like whatever. There was times where he spotted me for like food. Sometimes he'd buy me like dinner, lunch, like spot me, and like, it wasn't a big deal. But then I noticed that he would like start to ask for a little bit more money and a little bit more money, and I was just like, honestly, don't have it. Like, our rent's coming up, and I can't keep like just giving you money. Like, I don't know what's going on with you. You know, I'm your roommate. Like, you might want to get a job. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I have my own bills. I mean, $5-10 here. Especially being a dancer, I feel like people like to take advantage of you, knowing that you constantly have cash coming in. So he would just like start to ask for more, and it just got really weird. And then it got even stranger because he started acting weird. I would come home from work at like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, and he would be up, and our house would be in like a disaster of just like, he would be cleaning, and then like boxes would be everywhere, and it was just constant chaos. I would come home to chaos, and I told him, I'm like, it's like 2-3 in the morning, like, I need to get sleep. If you're gonna be like out here making noises, for the next 5 hours. He's like, I have to get cleaning done. I don't know what to tell you. And like, we would start arguing about it because it's irritating to come home from working, you know, and to not be able to sleep because your roommate is like, just whatever he's doing. Like, there was just boxes upon boxes of stuff, and like our closet was destroyed. He would be like fixing things and just like putzing around. And like, obviously looking back now, I know what was going on, but in the moment I didn't know. I didn't think he was like a drug user because he didn't seem like that kind of person to me. And when we had lived in Glendale, having the owner of the house be a drug user, we talked about it so many times and how bad it was. So to me, it was like, I didn't really think in the moment he was like on drugs until like I started noticing, obviously, like the late night cleaning, the organization, the not sleeping. I was like, he is clearly on something. Nobody normal does this. And it was just, yeah, it was really crazy and like volatile. Like, we would argue all the time. I had a guy over one night after work to hang out, and he was like in my room, and my roommate would like knock on the door randomly just to like bother us. And this is when I started to figure he probably like liked me or something, because it was crazy. He would like knock on the door, be like, can your friend move their car? I need to get out and go to the bank. And it was like 7 in the morning. You can't wait like 2 more hours. I'm sure my friend's gonna go home. Like, but whatever. So my friend like moved his car or whatever, came back in to hang out with me. Maybe 5 minutes later, knock on the door, something random, like, can you do this? Can you do that? Like, I forget the details. And then like it happened a few times, and like the last time was like, hey, I have orange juice. Do you guys want any orange juice? And my friend flipped out, and my friend at the time that was over was a fighter, like a pro fighter. So I don't remember how it happened, but him and my roommate got into a tussle, and my roommate was like a really frail person, and like my friend was like a big buff dude. So it was bad. Like, they ended up getting into like a little bit of a tussle, and I was just like telling my roommate, like, I don't know why you had to like provoke this whole situation. It was so crazy. And my friend was like, you need to get out of living here. This guy is crazy. Like, he's a lunatic. And I was like, yeah, like I literally do. And I guess the last straw for why he got evicted was he took my rent money. I was giving him the rent money because right along it was paying our like rent. He was paying our rent. I left it up to him because I was so busy working all the time. I didn't have time to keep track of rent and whatnot. But yeah, he always paid it, so I didn't really think much about it until December came. And I never really talked to the landlords except for when we moved in, because I didn't really have to deal with them. My roommate kind of just had the time. My roommate wasn't working, so he dealt with them. But then at the end of the month, my landlord texted me and was like, do you want to tell me why December's rent hasn't been paid? And I said, I always give my roommate the money, so I don't know. Like, and I asked my roommate, and he was like, I don't know what happened to it, kind of like bullshitting me. So our landlord, who was like husband and wife, 2 of them, came and they just talked to us, and they like evaluated on their own who was lying. And I was like, if you don't want me to stay here, like, I can figure it out. I'll probably just go rent a room somewhere else if this is like too crazy for you. But I paid the rent. I've been paying the rent right along, my half, and he's supposed to be paying his half. So I don't really know what's going on, but I'm being honest with you guys. They took my side. They believed me because obviously I wasn't lying, and I wasn't the one up at all hours. And these are horse people, so like they got up early morning, would see him through the house, like, because we didn't always have blinds in like all the windows. They would see him putzing around, and like they just caught on. He would be in and out of the house at like 4 or 5 in the morning, cleaning, doing whatever. They figured he was on drugs, and they said his behavior has really changed from when they first met him to now. This was only the span of a few months, and yeah, he just got super weird. A lot of stuff had happened, like, and I can't even like get into the details. His own close friends, my roommate's own close friends, were even like, he's on drugs. Like, his family got involved. It was really, really bad, and it's actually really sad. But the not paying rent, the landlord's like, you need to get out of here. So he ended up leaving. And like, he didn't come and get his stuff for a while, so we started putting his stuff outside. And then one day he actually did come and get his stuff, and yeah, that was the end of that. He moved out in like January, and then my roommate I have now, she moved in with me in February. So I had like January, I was living by myself and paying the rent and bills by myself because I didn't want to have a roommate for a month. I just wanted a break after going through that chaos. I just really, really wanted a break from having a roommate. So she moved in February, and it's been bliss ever since. I love my roommate that I have now, and I'm so thankful to have her. I think when you go through a really, really crazy bad roommate situation, when you actually find one that's super good, it makes you so much more appreciative of having a good roommate. And I think it's so important, especially LA living, like almost everybody has a roommate. It's just so hard out here to do it by yourself. It's expensive, and I did it 1 month by myself, and I would never want to do it again. It's way too expensive to live out here by yourself. And people who do it, kudos to you. It's definitely not easy, but I'm just so thankful to have the roommate I have, and I think we're probably going to live together for a while. I mean, until she figures out something else that I do as well. But yeah, so that's one of my crazy LA stories. Maybe I'll have more stories to share in the future. I don't know how much I'm going to share. Like I said, I've been through a lot of crazy stuff out here. Some things are just so personal that I just don't care to share. And some of them are just like, just so not worth the time of talking about. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, I will see you guys very soon in my next one. Mwah. Bye guys.